How we doing, everybody? Tonight I'm going to be tying a Harvey pusher fly. This fly was tied by George Harvey himself. It is a night fish fly. It's a pretty good pattern. I've fished it a few times, caught some pretty good sized trout on it. It's a pretty easy and simple fly to tie. It's not very hard at all. It's got some chenille. I'm not going to be using that kind. I'm going to be using this black kind here in a black. And I'm also going to be using some Fish Hunter slopping for the tail, and as well for the body of it. You guys will see how all that comes together here after a while. All right, so first things first, we're going to start with just taking our thread on back. Actually, I need to bring it back just a little bit more. I don't want to crowd that eye. Definitely don't want to crowd the eye on this one. So we'll go back, I'd say about a hook eye and a half in length. Then we'll just wrap back on our thread wraps here. We'll go ahead and snip this free, just like so. I'm also using some GSP for thread. I like to use this for streamers. Love it for streamers. It's a very good thread, so you can really crank down on some stuff with it. All right, so we're gonna go about right there. That's where we're gonna stop that thread, right where that hook point is. And I do debarb my hooks, so I know some of you guys don't like to see fly tires leave the barbs on their hooks, but I guess it really don't matter. But I do take mine off, just so you guys know. Alright guys, so now we're going to be, I messed that tail up, so this slop in here, this is what we're going to use for a tail. So we're going to get a good pinch of it, and tear it off from the stem. And you want it to be a good bit, about a good decently sized clump. And what I'll do is I'll normally just kind of twist them up in my fingers just like so. And then you don't want this tail to be very long at all. Say maybe half of a hook shank in length. It's okay if it's a little bit over, it's not a big deal. So we're gonna take that measurement rearward. Then we're gonna do a pinch wrap here. And we're gonna cinch that down there, and then we're just going to cover up these butt ends here with the thread. It don't matter if they go under the hook or not, because they're going to be covered up by that chenille. And if you need to, you can kind of trim up those stragglers there if you need to, and that's what we'll do. We'll trim them up here, and just like so. Let me see here. So now we're gonna come in with some chenille. This is in a color black. This chenille it's kind of funny looking because looks like it's flat. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It looks like it's flat. I don't know why it's like that, but usually when I get chenille, it's not like that. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and tie this in here, just like so. We're going to tie it right where that tail is. We're going to cover those butt ends up. You want this fly to be pretty bulky as well. You don't have to be shy of it. You want it to be really bulky. Not necessarily really bulky, but you want it to have a good size body. Yeah, we'll just wrap that forward in close touching spirals. just like so. And like I said, remember not to crowd that eye, and you'll see why later. Okay. It's not wanting to work with me. There we go. Okay. So now, I got this here. Tie that chenille in really nice and tight. We'll come in with some scissors and trim that. And that's the body of the fly there. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll spiral wrap back towards the tail. And this part is optional. All we're doing now is pretty much building the bulk of this fly. The chenille it really don't matter. All it's doing is pretty much building the bulk of the body, and you'll see here in just a few. I don't have my chenille ready. Where is it at? Okay, here it is right here. Okay, got it. I usually have all my tying stuff set out when I'm ready to tie a fly. There it is. Okay. And this is Sinyo's laser dub. It's gonna be in the Sculpin olive pattern, or not pattern, the color. We'll use this color here for the actual body part of it. This stuff is kind of rough to work with, so I am going to be using a little bit of wax, and we'll just coat that thread really nicely with that wax. Okay. Then we'll just reach in here and grab some of that dubbing. And like I said, we're trying to build bulk, but you don't want to build really too much. So just mainly just for the color. This is a nice color too. I love this color. It's really flashy too. And then we'll do that, and then we'll start dubbing this on here. All right, there we go. And you might have to add just a touch more of that dubbing too. Yes. We'll just keep on going with this dubbing here. Let me see. Maybe should have added a little bit more than that, but that's fine. We are in no rush. No rush at all to tie this fly. You've got to love the process. Just like so. About one more time, we should have that body nice and dubbed up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's got a lot of different colors in it. It's got a red, green, several different colors. It's a beautiful dubbing. Beautiful. And we'll just continue dubbing this body till we get to the very front. There we go, just like so. We got a little bit of chenille hanging out here on the front, but like I said, it's no big deal. That is strictly just to build bulk on this fly. Then we're going to grab us a piece of black schlop in here. You're going to want this to have a slight taper on it, so we're not going to use the whole feather. We're just going to use pretty much like this much here, and then you're going to want to tie it in from this end here, and then you're going to wrap it backwards. Oops, hang on for a second. There we go. Okay, much better. Then we're just gonna palmer this backwards. Then we're gonna fluff that up. Then we're going to wrap our thread back over that. People use wire for this. I'm using my thread today, because the wire that I had for this, I don't have it no more. I completely lost it and do not know where it went. So we're just going to use thread today, which is completely fine. This thread can and will do the job. Now we're just gonna wrap right back up through them hackles in the opposite direction that we came back. Just like so. And voila. And then what we will do is come in, put a few wraps right where that chenille ends, and that will kind of help splay these backwards just like so. All right. So now we're just going to kind of build a thread base here. All right, I totally lost my ringneck feather, so I'm going to have to pluck some more off of my. You can use any of these feathers here. Let me get up a little bit closer and show you guys. All right, so we're going to use some of these church windows here. You can use the ones here on the side as well, but these right here, you can pretty much use any of them. I like these. I like the way these look here. These right here make some beautiful, beautiful wings. Now we're just going to pluck a few off, if I can, without ripping the whole thing off. There we go. Perfect. Put the bird back in the bag. All right, the bird is in the bag. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'll show you guys. We are going to trim, if you guys can see that, we're going to trim the church windows just like that. And then we're going to snip that barb off. Oh, those aren't the scissors, okay. Just gonna snip it off just like that. You want just enough stem left over to where you can tie it in. You're going to want to make sure that these are kind of the same length. You don't want to cut yourself too short on it. So what I'll do is I'll grab the other one that I just cut and make sure that they're about the same size. And they are, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this one up too. So this is called a pusher, and these feathers here are the reason why it's called that, and I will show you guys why. So you want these to be tied on both sides of the hooks, and you want them to be splayed out just like so. So they're going to be just like this whenever it's all said and done. And I'll show you how that's going to look, guys. All right, so we're going to start. It's easier to turn your fly sideways, and that way you can kind of look at your placement. Some people do you can do these 2 at a time, or you can do them 1 at a time, but I'll do these 1 at a time. I'm sorry, I gotta move my finger out of the way so you guys can see. And then we'll do a few wraps there. And then we'll come back up. That way we have the same tie-in on the other side as we do this side. So we're gonna flip the fly on the other side. Just like so. And we're gonna put the other one on the exact same side, not the exact same side, but on the other side, just like so. We're gonna hold that tight and then tie it down. And those butt ends, we'll trim those up whenever we get done. Then those are splayed nicely. Those are going to give a really nice push. Perfect. So now we can come in with our scissors and cut the barbs off, all the extra, and then cover those up with some thread. Alright guys, so we are not completely done with this fly just yet. We are actually going to grab some more of that slopping that we used for the tail and for the body. And we don't want a gigantic piece for this. I would say something about the size of this here. Pretty thin one. Then we're just going to trim that off and then tie it in right in front of those wings that we just tied on. Let me get that on there. Just like so. Cover that butt end up. Now what we're going to do is palmer this on that hook, just like so. Like I said, remember you didn't want to crowd the eye on this one. You can crowd it now. Oops. Might have to pull my hackle pliers out for this one. I don't think I'll need to now. You will not need to do that. Good stuff. Now we're just going to ever so slightly come in here and trim that excess off, because you don't want to cut your feather. Then we will put a few thread wraps right in front of that. Just like so. Then we'll kind of build a little head up, because what I'm going to do with this here is I'm going to put some current on it. We'll put a 5-turn whip finish in, just like so. Then we'll trim or cut that thread. Right, perfect. And there you have it. It's a beautiful fly. So, let me see here. I've got some Solar Res here. We're gonna go ahead and dab a little bit of that onto our fly here. Don't want to get too much of that on that hook of the eye. I do not want to. Just ever so slightly small bit. Here we go. Now what that's gonna do is keep all of our work we just did from unraveling, because that would be bad. And there we go. Sturdy. You guys notice the wings there? Those move really good in the water. And there you guys have it. The Harvey Pusher. A very good nighttime fly. Catches some monsters. You guys go fish it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.